Well, hi, Jude. That is you. I just saw a different name and I didn't recognize it. And you're also muted. I gotta make you co-host.
Wait, how do I change the name? I don't know how that happened.
If you
Oh,
go
rename.
to,
I see.
yeah,
Rename. Okay, we're not going to let people in yet unless it's Rena Yudkowsky. Okay, let
okay,
me just.
that's fine. Everything else should be ready to go though.
Yeah. Okay, and okay, so the way I do it, now it's already. I see it's already. Yeah. Allison said she's going to take off the extras part. So if you could just, okay, well, let's see who's in the waiting room. No, she's not there yet. It's Rena Yudkowsky that we're waiting for.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. And then we usually wait till 5 up, but we have to keep, there's like close to 300 people expected today.
All right. Yeah. So I've disabled the ability to unmute themselves.
Good.
So once they're in, they will make no
Perfect.
noise. And
Yes.
then I wasn't able to. I can't disable the chat function though. It's not letting me do that.
Oh, I don't know how to. Wait. How do I do that? Wait. I see.
Well, apparently you have to do it before the meeting starts.
Well, oh wait. No, I think. Oh, what do you call it? I think Allison already did that. Maybe that's maybe why you can't do it.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Hopefully,
Right.
people are so random and crazy.
Yeah.
But there are no filters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we should be pretty much good to
Okay,
go. So basically, at 5 till, do you want me to disable the waiting room or just like start manually letting people in?
Yeah, and then first let them in, and then just completely disable it. That's fine.
Okay.
And I mean, basically, you're probably not going to do anything other than when you see me. What happens? I introduce her. She's going to speak probably for about 45, 50 minutes. I'm going to get on and thank people, and then that'll be that. And when you see it's over, just stop the recording and dismiss everybody. I just don't like to do this by myself. And
right, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's
okay, she sent you the recording from yesterday that needs a few minutes taken out, right?
Yes, I have it.
Will you be able to do that soon? Because I need that to go live.
Yeah, I should be able to do that today.
Perfect.
Yeah,
it was going
this
really
one
well.
This one I should be able to get to tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow should be okay for today's recording.
Today's recording, hopefully you won't do anything. Hopefully Allison gets back home. I mean, we'll call you if we need it. What else do we need? Oh, I know. There'll be something else at the end of the week. Shalom Silverman's. Wait, did she come in yet? 1 second. No. Shalom Silverman's is recording something, but it's on Ring Central. But I'm going to do something at the beginning, at the end. Can you merge the whole business?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
When does that need to be done by?
Well, he's giving his on Friday, and I need it by Monday night. Will that be doable?
By Monday night, yeah. Let me just make a note of that, so I can. Yeah. If anyone else asks me now, first come first serve. Judy already booked the Monday video slot.
I mean, hopefully we'll have everything to you earlier than that. I mean, hopefully you'll have it all by Friday.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, when it's that short of a turnaround, the earlier the better.
Yeah, okay. I mean, unless he messes me over, in which case I'm going to have to substitute with something else. I have to remind him. I mean, hopefully he doesn't need reminding.
Right. He's usually pretty good.
But like he refused to do Zoom. It wasn't pretty.
It's literally the same thing.
Oh God, don't ask. Except Ring Central is more expensive and more of a pain. Other than that, it's fine and dandy. Okay, she's still not here. You might find this one interesting. It's on memory and focus.
All right.
I mean, hopefully she's good. I mean, I haven't heard of it. But we have people literally from all over the world.
All right, sounds yeah. I mean, so far I've seen people have been putting on pretty good programming throughout this whole shenanigans of quarantine.
You saw Alan's email yesterday?
Yeah, I think Gary forwarded it to me. I haven't fully read it yet, but I liked it.
I mean, just skimming it. I mean, he mentioned the new person beyond Rabbi Howard, but he gave them both the same title, so I think that's kind of strange. Right. They can't both be EVP. So.
Right. I think what, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I know that the intent was to split his job into 2 roles.
Right.
One of them will probably be like the COO, and then
except they said he was EVP and COO, and Rabbi Hauer is EVP. So I don't know what happened there. But, should be interesting, and who knows when we get back to the building.
I heard September.
Oh yeah, who told you that, Gary?
Yeah, I think Gary. I mean, who knows? Gary says a lot of things, though.
Somebody else also said September. But the question is it September and you come in once a week? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was working from home quite a bit before anyway.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Like...
I'm only coming in 3 days a week on a good day, you know, but
right.
But how are we social distancing in that elevator? The elevator on a good day is
like one person at a time would have to go.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, in your day in the lobby where there's not enough room anyway.
Yep. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Should be interesting. Where is she? Maybe she emailed me, or she's in Israel. She emailed me earlier this morning, you know. So if she's not in 1 minute, I will contact her.
Sounds good.
Wait.
Is she one of the people already?
No, not yet. I mean,
unless she's Sandy, I don't know.
I don't think so. I think she would be honest herself. No, I'm emailing her now. Yeah. Oh, there she is. Okay, I just let her in.
Okay, cool. Now she also needs to be co-host, right?
Yeah, she's the co-host.
There we go.
Hi, Rena. Okay, Rena, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
Thank God. How are you? Okay, we are going to have a packed house.
How many people? You said 280 are registered.
Right, but that was a few hours ago. I haven't checked it still. Okay. Now, basically, it's like this: 300 can be on, but no, we never have the full amount. You know, like some people listen to the recording later. Some people are working. You know, so I'm not super concerned. And honestly, it doesn't matter. As well, I found out that they let more than 300 register, and as long as I have the emails, they get it. It has not yet been. I had 280 for something last week. You know, nobody has yet said to me they weren't allowed on.
Okay.
So, you know.
Amazing. I'm very excited.
I am super excited too.
Okay. Do I look okay? Like, can you
look beautiful. I just realized I've got to close my door. You look gorgeous.
Okay. I want you to tell me if the lighting is good and if I could lower my seat.
Alex, what do you say? Is she good? Okay. Rena, say hi to Alex. He's our sound person today.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I think it's good.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
The lighting is good. The sound is good.
Yeah, the lighting's great.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're looking right into the camera. That's good.
Great.
Perfect.
Now, did you want to share your screen? You want to see that?
Yeah, let me just practice. I have the ability to do that, right? I mean,
yes.
Yes. Perfect. 1 second. I just want to hold on. The only thing
early.
is,
we're going to wait a few more minutes to let people in.
yeah, I just want to,
You see it at the bottom? Mine's usually at the bottom.
yeah, I know how to do it. I'm not seeing what I want to see. Hold on a second. Here, now I am. Okay, let's see if I do that. Okay, wait, is that, 1 second. Hold on. Now if I do share screen, oh, there you go, it's on there now. Okay. Now, okay, just let's make sure. Okay, you could see it now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to take that off though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to stop share. Great. I'm just going
Okay, so whenever you want. Now, is that something that you could give me later that I could send out, or you don't want that sent out?
I'll tell you, 1 second. Hold
Up
on.
to you.
I'm just trying something else. What I really want to share is actually this one. Hold on. Is this one. This is the flyer you have that you're going to send out to everyone,
Yes,
but I'm going to put it up on the screen to show people what we're doing.
Right. Okay.
What I put up before is actually my freebie that if people come to my my website and they put in their email, they get that automatically. So I'm just going to show it to people to show them the beautiful freebie that's helpful. It's the normal versus abnormal memory loss that they'll get when they give me their email.
Right. And your contact info will be in what I give them. So that's, you know.
Correct. It's going to be on the things I share, which is one of which is the same that you're going to send out. Yeah, so everyone will be able to reach.
And I also gave it to them. I gave them your website when I put up your stuff.
I saw that. Thank you.
I don't. It's funny because I tried to attach the flyer, but no, it's nothing to do with you. I think it was Alex.
Okay.
I think Alex. I know you don't do that stuff, but I think there was some whatever.
Okay.
But I wasn't concerned because I knew they would get it later.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Okay. So in another 5 minutes, we'll let them in.
Okay. There are already 8 people. It says 8 people have entered the waiting room for this meeting.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And just tell me again what you want to do about questions. You want them to put the questions in the chat?
No, I think we disabled the chat. If they have questions, they can email me. Okay, 1 second. Well, actually, if they have questions, they can email me afterwards and we can discuss them next week.
On Thursday.
Yeah.
So you don't want me to open it up for questions?
Just because, well, let's this way, we're not unmuting people, that's for sure. And we already disabled the chat, and the chat, people can get very random and there are no filters. Did you ever notice when people have no filters?
I just like to give people the opportunity to ask questions because, and then it's a little more interactive, but with 200 people, it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell them that if they have any questions, if there's anything appropriate for today, they can email me. I'm giving them, they see my email everywhere, you know.
Okay. You're saying you're going to check you'll be checking your email during this webinar?
Yeah. It's on my phone. It's right in front of me. Yes. Obsessively, insanely. Okay.
Amazing. So then I'll ask you when you know, let's say I'll go for about 25, 30 minutes and then I'll ask you to give me questions and I could answer them.
There might not be any though. So
just fine. So then I'll keep going. I have plenty of material. I have 18 hours worth of material.
Okay. We're good. I mean, as you see, if you could answer the 2 things that came in on the food though.
Yeah, so I responded personally to both of those people. I actually do a whole lesson on that. I could answer it all rega achat, but I don't really want to. I mean, I can give you a list of the 10 top foods. I actually posted it for anyone that's on Facebook. I posted it on Facebook and in my Facebook group, which I'll offer to whoever's on Facebook. But that's like a whole nother talk.
Well, even to say people asked about food, that's a whole nother issue that, you know, we can talk, you know, at some other whatever. And
I actually offered the 2 people that emailed, I actually responded and said, I'm happy to have a free 15-minute chat with you. And, you know, because for me, that's good because that'll get people interested in my course because I do a whole piece of that in my course, you know.
Right.
So I'm happy to do free 15-minute chats with people, unless it's like 200 people, then I obviously can't do that. But, you know, if it's a couple people, I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
So that is another talk, and I'm happy to do that talk another time also.
Okay. You know something? We will be happy to, your generosity is appreciated. But, you know, whenever, you know, in another few weeks, we will be happy to get back. You know, right now, I appreciate the 2 weeks that, you know, I do not take advantage, but we do certainly appreciate.
Okay, good.
Okay, we've got 16. Okay. Another 2 minutes, we'll start letting the gang in. At that
I'm
point, we have to.
not going to worry about the waiting room. I'm going to let you admit people, right?
Yeah, no, you are correct. You are a guest. Good.
Okay.
And it will be disabled. Alex is going to disable it in a few minutes, so you won't even be bothered by it. You know, no, it's not your. But right now, people don't hear what we're saying. So it's like we're in private now. Once they come on, it's public.
Although it does say recording. This is recording, though. You know that.
No,
right?
don't worry about that. Don't worry about that either. That will be.
It's recording.
Allison, who normally does this, will cut it. Will start it. The recording. She's going to cut all the stuff we're saying off now, and the recording will start. What do you call it? With me speaking.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
Great. And you can introduce me. I mean, you could just say whatever you want, and then I'll take over introducing.
Well, I will give you a very, very quick introduction. Just, we're talking about memory, and I will say your name, and then you'll see, I'm going to turn the question, I will turn it over to you.
Perfect.
And,
I'll give the whole spiel.
And then when I see that you're finished, try to say something that, and then I'm going to mute myself and take my video off, so it's just you. Okay. I'm there though. I'm there. And Alex is there also. And what do you call it? And then when I see you're finished, then I'll conclude the program and tell them that we're doing part 2 on Thursday, and all that kind of stuff.
Great.
Okay.
Great. And are some people, they're going to have the choice to have their videos on, right?
Yeah, it's a mix. It's totally a mix.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm happy to.
Everybody's muted, but videos on or off is,
Okay.
As I said, I turn mine off. Oh, Alex, are you gonna
on the recording? It'll be just her video though, just hers and
right.
Okay.
Okay, Alex, are you gonna mute?
Yes, I will be muted.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just gonna do that now, actually.
Okay, you know something? I'm gonna let everybody in now. Okay, so guys, we're on.
Okay, great.
Okay, but and by the way, I usually wait till about 11:02 or 11:03. Okay, but actually we can see normally they stop the recording, then they start it again, but it's already recording. So Alex, when I think I'm ready, I'm just gonna start. Okay, so we're good. And then Allison, or somebody will take off the extra stuff, hopefully today, so that we can get it out today. Okay, admit all. Okay. We appreciate everybody's punctuality. We'll be starting in about 2 minutes. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for Spirit, the stimulating program initiative for retirees that inspires thought. I'm Judy Steinig, Director of Community Programs for the Orthodox Union, and it's my honor to coordinate and host this program. The OU created Spirit several years ago as an on-site program, and now we are happy to present it as a virtual program for baby boomers, active retirees, not yet retirees, empty nesters, sandwich generation parents, and seniors, all of whom are looking for opportunities for spiritual, physical, educational, and intellectual growth. Since we are all still sheltering in, Spirit is the perfect way for us to engage in a virtual setting. This week, we will be featuring a 2-part session on a terrific topic that affects every one of us: memory and focus. How many times do we get up to get something and then can't remember what it was we were getting? I often have this issue in my house when I've walked up or down 2 flights of stairs and then need to retrace my steps to recall what the errand was for. We so appreciate that Rena Yudkowsky, who is speaking to us today from Israel, reached out to offer to make this presentation. Rena is a memory coach and geriatric social worker and will provide some extremely important techniques and strategies for us. We are so honored to welcome Rena to the Spirit Forum and appreciate her taking time out of her busy schedule to speak with us today. If you have any questions during the presentation or after it, please email me, steinig@ou.org. That's steinig@ou.org, and I will make sure that Rena gets the questions. It's my pleasure and honor to turn the forum over to her now.
Thank you so much, Rebbetzin Steinig. Welcome, welcome to everyone joining from near and far. I'm actually in Ramat Beit Shemesh, Israel, but I know we have people here from all over the world. And that is the beauty of Zoom, that I can reach all of you and we can join together on Zoom to talk about this. And I don't even have to fly anywhere. It's great. So welcome, welcome. I'm going to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about how I got into doing what I'm doing. And then I have some really, really helpful, fun, and interesting information to share with you. And I think you're going to enjoy this. So thank you. So first of all, I've been living in Israel for 20 years. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. I am a geriatric social worker. And just very quickly, how I got into that was when I was a teenager in the summer, all my friends went to camp and I went to the nursing home to volunteer. And I would sing and dance and do activities with older people. And I realized that I just love this. Like, I have a passion for working with seniors. And I pursued that. So I have a master's in social work, specializing in clinical geriatrics, or gerontology it was called then. And when I worked in America, I worked as the head of an Alzheimer's department in an assisted living facility. That was a great job. And then I moved to Israel, and I've done all sorts of interesting things in the field, including taking a memory course in Hebrew. Many years ago, I took a memory course in Hebrew from a cognitive psychologist. And I was just wowed. I was like, this is fascinating. So I then continued to read and research and study and watch webinars. And I put together my own course in English and started giving over pieces of that as lectures to different venues and places and volunteer groups and whoever wanted me to lecture on memory. And it's really a fascinating topic. So I used to run a senior enrichment program here, a MAPE Chemish, called Experience, and I was the director of development. So now I did all sorts of interesting things, including teaching memory there. So currently I've taught my course in 4 cities here in Israel, Rehovot, Beitar, MAPE Chemish, and Yerushalayim many times. I taught in Yerushalayim many times because I taught for Yad Sarah and for Milabev. So every time I teach it, I get better at it, and it's more fun, and I upgrade it some more. And then last year I decided I want to do this online. So instead of running around to cities in Israel doing this, I could be reaching so many more people all over the world from the comforts of your home and mine. By the way, this is a virtual background. It's not really my living room, in case you were wondering. I do have a green couch though. So I decided to put this online, and that was before Corona. I've been working on this since September. Then Corona hit, and it became even more appropriate and necessary to do this online. In fact, that was the only way I was going to be able to do it now. So I worked very hard, and I launched my memory course online. I'll tell you more about that later. So I teach a memory improvement course. It's a total of 18 hours, but I've made a really good course offer, and I'll talk about that at the end. So that's a little bit about, I have a lot of varied experience in geriatrics, including training caregivers to work with dementia, and including doing support groups. And I lecture on aging topics, and this is my passion and my love. So without further ado, let's talk about our topic today. So I can't see everyone on here because there are a lot of people on here, but I see some faces. So we can do this by show of hand. How many of you, if you're embarrassed, you don't have to show your hand, but how many of you have either forgotten to take their medicine or forgot whether they took their medicine? Yeah, went to the fridge, opened the fridge and said, wait, what did I come here for? Or, yeah, I see people waving their hands. Or you forgot where you parked your car. That's a good one, that happens. Or you forgot whether you locked your door and then you're panic stricken because did I lock my door, did I not lock my door? Now, depending where you live, that could be more or less of an issue. So these things happen. And the question is, we blame our memory on what's really focus and attention. So before I talk about memory, I'm going to talk about focus, because they're very closely intertwined. And usually the awareness alone that I'm about to give you really helps calm people down, because they realize that it's not memory loss that they're going through. It's a lack of focus in the first place. So there are 4 techniques. We're going to talk about 4 techniques to improve our focus and attention, because I think we all suffer from this at all different ages. And there are many causes. I'm not going to go into the causes right now. I will tell you what happens though when you think, I need to get the milk from the fridge. And let's say you're standing in your dining room and you walk to the kitchen and you open up the fridge. Now in that walk, depending whether it's probably not that many steps from your dining room to your kitchen, what happens between when you have the thought and when you get to the fridge? Your mind goes, wait, what am I making for supper? Did I take my medicine this morning? Did I call that grandchild back? When is my doctor's appointment? And you get to the fridge and you open the fridge and you go, now what did I come to the fridge for? And it's because your mind went in so many places in between. So you got very distracted by your own thoughts, not even by anything else going on around you. So often people do is they retrace their steps, right? You go back to where the memory was made, and usually it comes back to you. I have another trick that I'll throw out right now before we go any further. And it's don't let yourself get distracted, which means when you have the thought, I need to get the milk from the fridge, you then say milk, 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 till you get to the fridge and open the fridge. So therefore, you're not allowing yourself to get distracted by your own thoughts. Now, it sounds silly, but it actually works. So it's really honing in your mind to stay focused on this task. Now, I am going to put up, one second, I'm going to share my screen. And, okay, there we go. So this is called, this talk I like to call, What Did I Come to the Fridge For? There's my name. It says how to improve focus to improve memory. And I have this acronym called TEAS, T-E-A-S, like herbal teas. And these are the 4 things we're going to talk about between today and Thursday. This is a 2-part series. I won't get through all of this in one day. And we're going to talk about 4 techniques we're going to use to help us focus so that we can remember better. So you just have to remember TEAS, okay? And I just want to point out this piece of paper that I'm showing, it's a PDF that I'm showing you here. And this is what Rebbetzin Steining is going to send out to all of you that registered for this webinar. She's going to send this to you after this class with the recording. And at the bottom, it has my business name is Memory Matters. It has my email, my website, and my Facebook group. For those of you on Facebook, I have an amazing Facebook group called Memory Matters, and I post videos there with great tips and humor and all sorts of helpful information. So you are going to be getting this that has all my information. You are welcome to email me with any questions at any point, and I personally respond to all my emails. So you will be getting this. I'm just showing you what you're going to be getting. And in the meantime, you can follow along. So the T, let's start with the T. T stands for task, one task at a time. That means we are going to stop multitasking. Because what does multitasking do to our brain? Most of us grew up with the notion that multitasking, that if you could do a lot of things at once, you're super productive. But now we know that multitasking trips up our brain. It's not good for our brain. First of all, it makes us feel stressed. Second of all, it temporarily lowers our IQ by 15 points. Okay, I'll say that again. Multitasking temporarily lowers your IQ by 15 points. So you don't want to be multitasking. In addition, they did research. They did studies in the workplace. They went into the workplace and they looked at people that were doing a lot of things at once. And they found that they made double the amount of mistakes because they were trying to do too many things at once. And I think we all have experienced that, right? If you're making that cake and then you're talking on the phone and then you're like, wait, did I put in the sugar? Did I put in the salt? And you get annoyed with yourself. But really, what I'm saying to you is that you need to stop multitasking because it's an unrealistic expectation of yourself. Now, you're going to say, but when I was younger, I could do that, right? And maybe when you were younger, you could get away with that. But as we get older, it gets more difficult to pay attention to more than one thing at a time. So if you want to accomplish things well and fully, it's a good idea to stop multitasking. Now, there are times in life where we have to multitask. There are situations and stages and occasions and events that we do have to multitask. But the idea is to try to lower that or to decrease the amount of times that we actually have to multitask. For example, if you're trying to read an article, or I see some men here, if you're learning Gemara, if you're working, whatever you're trying to do, if you can do one task and finish it and then move on to the next task and then move on to the next task, you will end up being more productive in the long run. There's a reason that there is a very hefty fine for driving while talking on a cell phone, because our brains cannot do those 2 things at once. I know here in Israel, it's 1,000 shekel and 8 points on our license if you are caught talking on a cell phone while driving. And it's because when you do that, you are 4 times more likely to crash and half a second slower to hit your brakes. Half a second is a long time when we're talking about a car accident, right? It doesn't sound like a long time, but it is. So that's an extreme example. But it explains why we need to be careful with multitasking. Now, I'm going to answer a question that I know some of you have, which is, what's the difference between talking on the cell phone if you're holding it, if it's on speaker, or if there's a person sitting next to you as a passenger and you're driving? And this is a question that I get all the time, and it's a good one. So at least here, it is illegal to hold a phone. It's not illegal to talk on the phone on speakerphone. However, it should be. Because when you're on the phone, whether you're holding it or on speaker, it is a virtual conversation. You are imagining who you are talking to, right? There's some virtual person out there that you're talking to, and you have to imagine it. And that takes a lot of brain space. If someone is sitting next to you and talking to you, it's not virtual anymore. They're right there. So it doesn't take any imagination or any virtuality or virtualness, whatever that word is. So, however, what happens when you're driving and someone's talking to you? And let's say you're not sure whether to make a right or a left. Then what do you say to them? You say, wait, could you be quiet for a second just so I could figure out which direction I'm going? Because you need to concentrate. So even though it is dangerous to be talking on speaker, even if it's not illegal in certain places, I don't know where you're from, if it's illegal or not. The difference is that that's virtual as opposed to a person sitting next to you where it's not a virtual conversation and you don't have to imagine it happening. Multitasking also makes us less creative. We are much more creative when our brain is calmer and even resting. There's a lot of neuroscience research, and this is so fascinating. The neuroscience is telling us that we need to give our brains a break in order for them to be creative and productive. Quiet time produces insights and inspiration. I'll say that again. Quiet times produce insight and inspiration. So instead of multitasking and working at full throttle, which we tend to do because we want to get a lot done, but we don't realize is that we're compromising on our creativity and productivity. So there are actually 3 times that you're most creative, and I've noticed this is true. I heard this a long time ago, but I've noticed that it's true, and it's actually not when you're sitting at your desk thinking. If you want to be very creative and come up with great ideas, the first place is on vacation. I've come up with some great ideas when I'm on vacation, in the shower, and before you go to bed, or even while sleeping. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you have the most brilliant idea you came up with overnight. Now, was your brain working hard? It was actually resting. So isn't that fascinating that our brains need to rest to be productive? And when we try to do so many tasks at a time, we are not properly resting our brain. So it's take one task at a time and finish that fully instead of letting ourselves go in 100 directions. There's a term called monkey mind, if you've heard of that. Monkey mind is when our brains jump around a lot and we sort of get stuck in our ruminations and fears and negativity. Just to put this into context, how much have we all been ruminating about Corona and who's sick and the numbers and the news, and it could drive you crazy, literally, if we allow our brains to keep doing that to ourselves. What I would suggest turning off the news for a couple days or weeks or months, actually. You'll be calmer. You'll be able to focus better on what you're trying to do. But we feel anxious, so we want to hear the numbers, but then that makes us feel more anxious. So the monkey mind swings through an endless loop of fears, frustrations, projects, and plans. We're always thinking about what do we need to do next, but we don't stop to calm it down. And what we're finding is that when you calm it down, it's healthier for the brain. And that's part of focus. So the T is one task at a time. So we'll talk about, this is what we're talking about, how to focus, and I'll give a few examples as we go along. I just want to tell a story, 2 stories about this. One is I was once talking to my friend on the phone. She was on her cell phone, I was on my cell phone, and all of a sudden she says, Rena, you're not gonna believe this. I just spent 5 minutes looking for my cell phone, and I'm talking to you on it. And I started laughing, and I said, you know why you did that, right? Because you are so distracted. And that's monkey mind. She's just totally not paying attention to what she's doing. So she could be very worried about her memory, but I helped her realize that that's not memory. That's not a memory issue. That's focus and attention. Another example, a story that happened to me. I was making lasagna while talking to my sister-in-law on the phone. Now, lasagna is very easy to make. It does not take a lot of brain power. But I actually opened a can of marinara sauce and then put it in the closet instead of in the fridge. So a little while later, I hear my husband come in the kitchen and say, Rena, are you going crazy? And I said, I might be, but why do you ask? And he says, because I found the open jar of marinara sauce in the closet. And I did not sweat for a second because I knew exactly why I did it. I knew that I was distracted. I knew that I was talking on the phone, and my brain was talking to my sister-in-law. My hands were making lasagna. There was no connection between the two. So I didn't worry that my brain's going because I knew why I did that. I understood that I was multitasking. I understood that my attention was split, and that therefore I was not concentrating on what I was doing. Which brings us to another point. Older people, when they forget something or have what we call a senior moment, they tend to have negative self-talk, and they say, "Oy, I'm losing it. Oy, my memory's going. What's wrong with me? I'm such an idiot." And that negative self-talk just reinforces itself. So we need to stop that negative self-talk, and we need to change the program, change the waves in the brain. So it would look like this. Take a deep breath and say, it'll come to me. I'll use one of the techniques that Rena suggested, and it will come to me later. And you take a deep breath because we panic. When we get scared about our memory, that fear kicks in and we panic. So we need to take that deep breath. It calms the mind, and it gets oxygen to the brain, which helps you think better and more clearly. That will probably help you remember. So we want to get rid of the negative self-talk and have that positive self-talk instead. So I want to quote Henry Ford. There's a great quote from Henry Ford that says, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right. Again, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right. Now that applies to many areas of life, but I want to apply it to memory. And it goes like this. People say, I can't remember your name. I can't remember the names of all the new people I just met today. And I say, well, you can't because you just convinced yourself that you can't. But I'm telling you that you can if you have the right techniques and the right strategies, and they're not difficult. So I would have loved to be able to let everyone say their names here today and try to remember them, but I think we're too many people and it would take too long. And you might say to me, Rena, there's no way you could do that. And I'm gonna say, I think I can. I don't know that I'll get every single one right, but I think I can, and therefore I can try because I do have the strategies and the tools. It's just a matter of practicing it. People say I have a terrible memory for names. And I say you have a terrible memory for names because you've convinced yourself of that. All you need is a couple good techniques and practice. There's no such thing as a good brain or a bad brain. It's trained or untrained memory. It's like saying my bicep muscle is very weak. Well, lift some weights and it won't be weak. Same thing with your memory. Say I have a really bad memory. Use some techniques. Do a little. I have a whole list of things you could do to improve the brain power. So whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right. So convince yourself that you can remember whether you took your medicine, and I'm going to be giving you the techniques for that. So T is task, one task at a time. Stop multitasking. It trips up your brain. E, the E stands for build a conducive environment. E is environment. Our environment influences how we learn and remember. Example, if you're trying to listen to a class, a lecture, a workshop, a shiur, and the phone's ringing and your notifications are beeping and the kids are talking and there's someone knocking on the door, how likely are you to remember what went on in that lecture? Not very likely, right? But if you set aside quiet time, space, no distractions, good lighting affects our learning. If you can't see what you're reading, you're not going to remember it. so it's the lighting, sound. If you're at a shiur and let's say it's a big crowd and you can't hear well, it's going to be so much harder for you to remember that information. So our environment really impacts. So it's minimizing disruptions, sound, lighting, clutter. You know, when you walk into an office that's full of clutter and you think, how does that person think straight in here, right? But if you clear the clutter of your room, your office, wherever you're trying to learn or remember things, you're going to have a much better chance of remembering. So our environment impacts our learning. Now, are there people that can tolerate a bigger mess than others? Absolutely. Are there people that can learn with noise in the background? There are. But you need to know your learning style, and that's going to affect your memory. There are also people, I always see women sitting at a shiur, knitting, crocheting, using their hands. And I always wonder, how do they do that? Aren't they distracted? But I have had some of those people tell me it actually helps them concentrate better. Now, I can't explain to you what goes on in the brain that works, but obviously some people's brains do work better when their hands are busy. It does, I guess it hones them in and it makes them more able to focus on what they're doing. So that's the E of environment. Okay, and part of that environment is also, like we said before, letting go of disruptions. So it means, I want to talk here for a second about technology. We all have a lot of things pulling at our attention, right? You know, on my computer, I have 10 windows open and I switch back and forth. When I do that, there's a saying, when you're always online, you're always distracted. So sometimes we have to do that for work, but as much as possible, it's better to focus on one thing at a time, even on our computers. So there was something I wanted to say. When you're always online, you're always distracted. And when you, one second, I lost my train of thought. Hold on, I'm gonna hone it back in. Technology, thank you. That's what it was. So there's something called digital dementia. Digital dementia means that we're giving away our attention to technology. We're allowing our dings on our phones, our notifications from all the different things, our emails, we're allowing all that to distract us and to take away our presence of mind and our focus. So we have to be very careful about that. Digital dementia is not a real type of dementia. It's more like an explanation of our modern life, of a lot of things pulling at our attention. And we need to be careful what we give our attention to, because what we give our attention to is A, what's important to us, and it's B, what affects us. So in the morning, a lot of people, the first thing they do when they wake up is they check their phone. That is a big no-no, big no-no. In fact, I've been coached, I heard a very big coach say, do not check your phone for the first hour that you wake up. And get that hour powerful, like a power hour. Do the things you want to do in the morning, whether it's make your bed, daven, eat breakfast, and don't let yourself get distracted by your phone, your notifications, your emails. It's hard. We live in a time where there's so many distractions and so much pulling for our attention and so much information coming our way, but it's information overload. And I think that's one of the reasons we all feel so distracted. They say that our average attention span is a goldfish average, okay, try this again. Average attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds and humans is 8 seconds. Now that doesn't mean that you can only focus for 8 seconds. That is a statistic that came out of Google. Google is trying to figure out how many seconds do they have to catch your attention if they're doing a commercial. And the answer was 8 seconds. They have 8 seconds to catch your attention. And otherwise you might go on to the next thing, flip, scroll through. And it shows that we believe that our attention spans are getting shorter because of technology. So we need to be aware of that. We need to be careful with that. And we need to intentionally choose what we give our attention to. Intentional means what are we making intentionally important to us. So let's talk about davening for a second, okay? Everyone complains that they cannot focus on davening, and this is a very normal thing. And it's also an old problem. It's not a new problem. There's so many svarim written on kavana, right? What we call kavana is intention or focus. And I think we all struggle with this, right? The joke is when you daven Shemona Esrei and you come back and someone asks you, did you say Tfilas Haderech because you went on a trip? So we all struggle with focus and attention during davening. The other joke in my house is my husband comes back from davening or walks in our door because davening is right outside my door these days, walks in the door and says, I remembered what I wanted to tell you. It's a good thing I davened. And we have a good laugh. So this is a constant struggle, but I'm going to give you a couple things that are helpful for davening. Number one, imagery. Imagine, and this is what they say in the Sfarim, right? Shivisi Hashem l'negzi samid means put Hashem in front of you. It's an image of Hashem in front of you. So when we imagine, we use our imagination to help us focus, that there's an imagery grounding us to what we're doing. We're davening with a king in front of us. So imagery is number one. Number two, what happens is our mouths are davening, right? Our mouths are saying words, but our brain is in Honolulu or Eilat or Miami or wherever your brain is. And it's not aligned with your body. So your brain and your body are not in the same place. So we need to keep bringing our brain and our body into alignment and keep doing it. You can just keep bringing it back. I do this all the time. Keep bringing your brain back to where your body is. And it's always helpful to look in the siddur, say it out loud if you, whatever parts you're allowed to daven out loud. And the reason that that works is because of the S, which we'll get to at another time, which is senses, but I'm just throwing it out here now. So the other interesting technique for davening is, again, this goes back to the imagery thing, which is on Rosh Hashanah. This idea came up on Rosh Hashanah, and I really like it. The idea of when we're blowing the shofar, what are we supposed to be thinking about? And the imagery of Hashem, Kaviyachol, getting up from the kisei of din and moving to the kisei rachamim when we blow the shofar. And that imagery is very powerful in helping us focus on what the shofar is about. So I just have that picture in my head as the shofar is blowing of Kaviyachol, Hashem getting up from kisei din and moving to kisei rachamim, whatever that looks like to me, in my human, simple terms. But that imagery is powerful to me to help me focus on shofar blowing. You can create whatever images are powerful to you to help you focus on your davening. Another question about davening, which came up for me and a lot of other people, so I actually asked this, and that is, when you think of something very important during davening and you can't get it out of your head because you want to remember it, think of something that you have to remember and you can't focus on davening because that thought won't go away. I'm sure this has happened to some of you. So I actually asked the question, are you allowed to jot it down? Obviously during the week, not on Shabbos. Can you jot down that thought or task so that your mind can be cleared? And I was told that you could, but you shouldn't write, you should just do it as succinctly as possible. Like if an X will work, and not during Shemona Esrei. But I was told that you could actually do that. But you could all ask your own shilas. I'm not your local Orthodox rabbi. I'm just telling you what I was told because it bothered me. I really needed to know if I could actually jot things down. So that is another thing about davening. Okay, let's see, where are we holding in terms of time? Okay, if anyone has questions so far, they disabled the chat, but you are welcome to send an email to Judy. Judy's checking her emails, and if there are any questions, she can ask them to me now, or we can also save them for Thursday and answer them on Thursday. I also invite all of you to send me emails, ask me any questions you want. And this is the rest of this, we are going to continue on Thursday. I just want to tell you a little bit more about my course. Just for those of you that might be interested. So my course is an 18-hour course, and it includes a memory assessment. 18 hours means once a week for 12 weeks. We do an hour and a half. It's a lot of interaction. It's all about how memory works, how to remember names, numbers, and lists of items, and lifestyle factors. We got a few questions already about food, exercise, brain exercises. I cover all of that in my course. It is a whole nother discussion. I can't answer those questions on one foot, But I do invite you to email me, and you can also book a 15-minute free call with me, and I'm happy to answer your questions that way. So if you go onto my website, which is at the bottom here, it's renayudkowsky.com. You can schedule a call with me. You can join my email list. When you go to my website, here, I'll leave it there. There's a pop-up that says, is my memory loss normal? And I have a PDF, which actually I will show you right now. You will get this free PDF. Hold on a second, if I could find it. Hold on.
While you're doing it, Rena, I just want, there so far I don't have any questions. If anybody doesn't want to send them to me, I'm happy to respond.
Okay, hold on. Wait, I'm just trying to share my screen. I want to share here this. Okay, so when you go to my website, there's going to be a pop-up that says, is my memory loss normal? And if you give me your email address, you will automatically get sent this. It is 4 ways to differentiate between normal and abnormal memory loss. So let's say you want to know this and this is happening to me. Is my memory loss normal? It's a nice checklist. It's not a diagnostic. It's not a screening. It's just a nice checklist. This is my freebie that I give to people that join my email list, and you're all welcome to do that. Okay, so we got through the T and the E today of the T's. On Thursday, we'll do the A and the S, and there'll be a lot more helpful techniques. And Rena Steiner will be sending out that with the PDF that I put up there that has the notes and my information on it, and you're welcome to email me. So just a little more about the course. Just you can think about if you might be interested in this, and I can, through email, I can be in touch with you. So in addition to that course, it's also a memory coaching program, which means that it's interactive, and we have a private WhatsApp group where you can ask questions during the week, and it's a 12-week training program, and I include a private memory assessment in that. And it's quite a valuable offer. There's a digital workbook that goes along with it, and I just launched this course online, and I'm currently teaching it, and that has been a process for me of about 8 or 9 months, and it's very exciting that I can offer this now online, and I don't have to be live teaching the course. And it's really fun. I think I might even have some people on here that are in my course right now, and it's really fun, and I'm happy to start teaching another group as soon as we get a group together. So on my website, there's a big banner that says Memory Matters Week, and it says course buy now. You can just click on that to read all about the course. You don't have to buy it now, but you can just read all about it. So if anyone has questions for now, email Rena Steiner. I'm happy to answer questions that way. Otherwise, we will continue this on Thursday, but I'm going to hang on to see if there are any questions.
So far, I don't have anything. We'll wait another second. If anybody has anything, please email me right now. That's steinig@ou.org. If you look at my name, it's steinig@ou.org. And of course, anybody can email me following, and I will get it to Rena that we can address it on Thursday.
I want to say one more thing before we end. There is so much research these days, so much research that is hopeful. For any of you that are worried about getting dementia or watched a parent go through it, and it's very, very painful, there is so much research out there now of all the things that we can do to prevent dementia. So even if people have a gene for it, because there is a genetic component to it, we now know that it's not just about genes. In fact, we say that 70% of the risk factors are preventable. It's actually higher than that. I say 70% because that's what I saw, but I believe that it's higher than that. At least 70% of the risk factors are preventable. And for example, I'll just throw out some of the examples: obesity, smoking, hypertension, depression. All those things are either preventable or treatable. There are more risk factors, but all of those and more are preventable or treatable. So even if you have a gene for it or you're worried about it, it's never too late to start doing things that can keep you healthier, sharper, longer. And some of those things have to do with lifestyle factors that are diet and exercise, learning new things, socialization. Remember that thing where we actually see people and get together with people and enjoy each other's company? Some of us are a little socially starved from being locked in our houses for so long. So those are the lifestyle factors that I discussed, and they're all interesting, and there's a lot of research. So I want to just throw that out there because I want to give people hope that there is so much you can do, and it's never too late. Never too late to try to improve your health, your cognition, and your memory. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you again on Thursday for the rest of the T's to improve your focus. Have a good day and a good week.
Wait, let me turn my video on. Wait, where'd it go? Thank you so much, Rena. I think we all learned a lot today. I know it's going to affect me with multitasking because I'm a prime bad person in that, because that's the only way I work, but hopefully there's other ways that we can focus. Anyway, so we thank you so much, and we're certainly looking forward to part 2. Everybody remember, you have to register separately for each class. That's a Zoom security thing. I have to register for each class. Rena had to do it. Everybody has to register. We are now asking also for cities and states. I know there was an issue for people from Eretz Israel. If that's a problem, just put down your city and any state. We'll know that you're in Israel. We're going to try to get that fixed. But no, but that shouldn't stop anybody from registering. As I've said before, please note that all of our programs are recorded, and everyone who registers, whether they're on live or whether they're not, whether they're working or doing something else, everybody will receive the recording. I'll either later today or tomorrow. It's a matter of when we get it all set up, and it will be with the materials that Rena had mentioned. So you don't have to ask me for it. You will get it automatically. So just stay tuned, and it comes from my email. So I try to do it by the evening, but it doesn't always happen. Okay, so also I want to thank all of, again, our partnering synagogues, and we're getting more and more. They're helping us to spread the word on this program. If your synagogue is not in the list, please ask your rabbi or president. All that we ask is that they spread the word through emails that we will give them on each Wednesday about programs. There is no charge for them to do this. And of course, there's no charge for any person who registers to attend. So we thank everybody so much. Rena, thank you again. Everyone have a great day. Be safe, be healthy, and see you on Thursday. Take care.